The DJI Mavic Mini, the Mavic 2 Pro and now the Mavic Air 2. We finally got the full Mavic family here. Now the hard choice is which one to buy, which one is better, which one do I need. We're here to help you with your decision, so let's go. By launching the DJI Mavic Air 2, DJI finally manages to have a unified family line of its flagship product, the Mavic. No Spark, no Phantom, no nothing. DJI has decided to bet on the family that got famous by being their first foldable drone. Now we finally have the feeling that the circle has closed. 3 solid drones, 3 categories, 3 prices and 3 sizes, but 1 color and 1 frame design. Now the hard choice. This is more difficult than when you had to choose Charmander, Squirtle or Bulbasaur. Tough decision. But in this video we'll be analyzing from a consumer point of view which things are most important for every category and which drone fulfills better your purpose. This means it's a good time to sub and hit the bell if you don't want to miss all our analysis and great videos coming soon. Of course also the crash test. So let's go. Money. Money calls, money rules. Key fact for this choice, depending on how much money you can spend or how much your partner allows you to. Unless you're planning on starting a business with your drone, the purchase is mostly going to be a hobby, so you gotta be really careful. 399 euros or bucks, that is the price for the Mavic Mini. It is not that bad, it's even cheap. Is it a bad drone? Waste of money? Well, no way, it's a damn good drone for the price. If you don't want to spend too much money, or if it's your first drone, or you're just filming a bit on your vacation, you know, 399 bucks, it's yours. 799 bucks or 849 euros on the Mavic 2 Air. You want to step up a bit, you know, the newest drone in the market, a drone that for not much money offers you really a lot. Well, for that price you can get the best value for price drone in history. Worth every penny, last generation product and ready to use for a long time. 1,499 euros or $1,599. Do you need the best, the most advanced, highest photography quality, highest capabilities? Are you a professional? You got here the toughest tool, the Mavic 2 Pro. Now let's talk about the image quality output. Eventually you'll be using this drone to take pictures and film, right? You won't be racing, nor doing strange stuff, nor spying. You will buy them because you want to believe that you are Martin Scorsese. And you'll be saying by now, okay Alex, please stop talking and tell me which one's image output is better. So here it comes. They all film super good. Now let's talk about... Just kidding. Let me explain myself a bit deeper. All of them will do the job basically. Film correctly and will give you a good output. But there are a few things that are worth mentioning. Let's talk about resolution first. 2.7K, 30p and 12 megapixel is the highest resolution the Mini will deliver. But don't panic, I know it's not 4K, but 2.7 is more than enough for your edits, uploading to YouTube and watching it on our home cinema. The size doesn't really matter. Not long ago we still were watching most content in Full HD anyway. Plus with the new update we can now also film in manual mode, which enhances the product even further. The Mavic Air 2 with 4K 60 and 48 megapixel is what the new Air 2 has to offer. Well, that escalated quickly. Small foldable drone capable of that, nothing really else to say. It has better specs than my Sony a6500. The Mavic 2 Pro with 4K 30 and 20 megapixel. This may sound worse than the Air 2, but this drone has a few aces upon their sleeve, which we'll see in a sec. Plus hopefully DJI opens up 4K 60 here soon, because it doesn't make much sense keeping it at 4K 30 now. The sensor size. One 2.3 inch sensor, a half-inch sensor of the Mavic Air 2 and finally the 1-inch sensor from the Mavic 2 Pro. And what does that exactly mean? Well, basically, the better the drone, the bigger the sensor in this case. And this is pretty important. Bigger in size means better photo quality and less noise when light is missing. This is very important when thinking about which one will give you a better quality, of course. Let's talk about the compression. It's 40 Mbps for the Mini, 120 Mbps for the Air 2 and 100 Mbps for the Pro. Another important fact when talking about quality, where the Mini is a bit more limited because it has more compressed video signal, of course. We can expect better visual quality on both the Air 2 and the 2 Pro. Images less compressed and with less artifacts and a higher quality perception. But let's talk now about some other important things to bear in mind here. The Mavic 2 Pro has a camera with a field of view of 77 degrees, where the Mini 83 degrees and the Mavic 2 Air has 84. They all have now manual exposure, but only the 2 Pro allows you to change the aperture from f2.8 to f11. This is very important. On the Mavic Mini you only have the standard image, while on the Air 2 you have the HDR and the D-Cine-alike, and on the Pro version you plus have the D-Log, H-Log and 10-bit with that color developed by Hasselblad. And if you're a fan of slow-mo shooting, the Mini does shoot 60p at Full HD, the Air 2 does 240p at Full HD, and the Mavic 2 Pro does 120. Oh, and the Mini is not able to shoot RAW pics. Size and weight, you know, another very important to some people and to most people fact is actually how the drone is, how much space it's going to take in our backpack, and how much it actually is going to destroy our kidneys when transporting it. So, 249 grams for the Mini. Nothing really else to say here. It's featherweight, it's a bit heavier than your bigger smartphone. 570 grams for the Air 2. It's a half kilo perfect weight that is not too bad and giving you a decent output, and you're more than okay. And 907 grams for the Pro, the heaviest among the 3 because of its bigger camera, motors, you know, gimbal and all that. And even though it's not too much, there is a difference with the other 2 drones. Let's talk about the functionality. It's important that you know what you can tweak inside the app on your phone or the iPad or whatever you're using, and the things you can do with each drone. First, big old problem happens to me all the time when I forget the SD cards. The Mavic Mini is the only one that does not have internal storage. The Air 2 and the Mavic 2 Pro have 8 GB of internal storage. Now, all 3 drones have quick shots, which I never use, but they may be helpful. Plus, the Mavic Air 2 introduces hyperlapse up to 8K, enhanced focus track modes such as the Spotlight 2.0, the Active Track 3.0 and the POI 3.0, codec in H.265, HDR in photo, video and panos, and noise reduction via the Hyperlight, a new controller that you've seen, the APAS 3.0, and the Mavic 2 Pro has the Hasselblad camera, the 10-bit D-Log M, HDR and pics with up to 14 EV, the adjustable aperture, which is super important, hyperlapses too, the Hyperlight noise reduction, also the H.265 codec, same as on the Air 2. What about the flight time? Because DJI has managed here to give all 3 drones powerful batteries to officially be on top of the 30-minute mark, even though, you know, we know it's really like 15 or 20% less. But 30 minutes for the Mavic Mini, 34 minutes for the Air 2 and 31 minutes for the Pro, for the 2 Pro. For all those always asking, why is this happening? Well, first of all, a drone battery lasts longer flying than actually hovering. Second, they must have tested the capability from 100% to 0%, something that will never happen to us, probably without even filming or using any of the shots you can do, so all that what you do decreases battery life. Now, talking about the max velocity or speed, the Mini 47 km/h, the Air 2 68 km/h and the Pro 72 km/h. Even though speed may sound less important, fact is that it is important when following something like your car, a boat, or your son skiing or biking, if he is Lance Armstrong. Plus, it's important to know if your drone is capable of being faster than wind speeds. Think about that. Both the Air 2 and the 2 Pro have pretty awesome speeds, and the Mini, for being so small, being capable of doing those speeds is still astonishing. Let's talk about the sensors. One of the most important things is not crashing your drone unless you run this channel, We Talk UAV, then it's like your watermark. Anyway, your best friends here are going to be GPS and of course common sense. When you start flying without GPS or you think you're a pro FPV racer, then you start, risking quite a bit. For everything else, we have these sensors that may save up your culo. Still best would be that you don't have to use them at all. The Mavic Mini has just the sensors on the bottom. The Mavic Air 2 has front and rear sensors and also on the bottom. And now the king, of course, is the Mavic 2 Pro with front, rear, down and side sensors. No top sensors like the Inspire 2, but it does the job. Summing up, if you're kind of confused with so much info that we just gave you and you're still not sure which one to buy, let me help you. Buy the DJI Mavic Mini if you want a small drone, lightweight, and you're using it a bunch of times during the year, mostly on vacation, your family, or you want to see your house from a bird's POV. Plus, if you want to spend less money and just want to fly a bit around and get used to it, the mini drone, even if it loses all the specs against, the bigger brothers, if you learn how to use it, film properly, edit correctly, it will give you a super decent output. Most people won't even see the difference on YouTube with some other bigger drone footage. Now, buy the DJI Mavic Air 2, the new one, if you want to have DJI's latest drone on the market. It's an incredible drone with the best value for price ever seen in the business. We can highlight, of course, the 4K 60 plus all the new obstacle avoidance features and the focus track. Buy the DJI Mavic Pro 2 if you want the drone with the biggest sensor. That means best quality in low light, adjustable aperture, and a color science developed by Hasselblad. Plus, its 10-bit D-Log will give you an extra edge for those professional outputs. Now, guys, nothing really else to say. I hope that you liked this comparison, that it somehow helped you a little bit. And of course, the crash test is coming. And nothing really else to say. I really hope that you liked it. Leave a thumb also for the editing and, Chiva, my mother on the camera, is still there. And nothing really else to say, guys. Also remember to keep calm and talk UAV. The Mavic 2 Pro with 4K 60 and 48 megapixel is what the new Air 2... Fuck my yoga.